Well, if you have been participating in Dry January, you have 6 days left. Joining us today in studio is Joseph P. Schacht, PhD from CU Anschutz. You know all things about Dry January here. I think the thing that a lot of people are the most interested in is what are the health benefits? We're at the end of January. You've not had any alcohol. What happens to your body?
Yeah, thanks for that question. So we know that cutting back or stopping drinking has all sorts of great benefits for your health. So it can be simple things like losing a little bit of weight, sleeping a little bit better. If you're drinking more heavily, that can also result in improvements to blood pressure, to liver enzyme values. And so there's all sorts of good things that happen if you cut back or stop on drinking.
And can that happen as quickly as just a couple of weeks of stopping?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so some of those changes really only take a few weeks of drinking, of reducing or stopping drinking to see.
Okay, so if somebody's saying, okay, I did Dry January, come February 1st, what is your advice to them?
Yeah, so Dry January is just like going on a diet or something where it can be hard to kind of sustain any progress if you made unless you have a plan for doing that. So I think some of the things that may have been helping you during Dry January can also be helpful for February and the rest of the year. Those are things like keeping track of how much you're drinking, using an app or just writing it down somewhere, telling other people that you have a goal to reduce or stop drinking. We know that anytime you tell people that you have what your goal is, that you're more likely to follow through on it, and making plans to do things that don't involve alcohol. So going for a run, going to a yoga class, participating in a club that doesn't involve drinking, for example.
The one thing that I do see a lot of people talking about right now is Damp January, which I think is more like a scaled back version. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that is such an important thing because historically, when we think about alcohol, we kind of have this black and white thinking that either you're drinking as much as you want, anytime you want, or not at all. And in fact, increasingly what we understand is just cutting down a little bit. So drinking one less day a week or drinking one or two fewer drinks on the day that you drink can also have some really great benefits for your health. So damp January, damp rest of the year is also a great idea.
So do you see some of the same benefits from damp January as Dry January, just like not to the same extent, or how does that work?
Yes, absolutely. So again, we can see changes in all of those kind of health benefits that we discussed previously, even just by cutting back a little bit. Of course, not as much as if you stop completely, but sometimes all you need is a little bit.
Okay. Before we run out of time, I do want to ask, for somebody who maybe did Dry January, experimented with it, and said, you know what, maybe there's something more serious going on here. Maybe I'm having withdrawals, maybe I need to get help. What is your advice on first place to turn?
So the important thing to do is to listen to your body. If your body feels better without alcohol, that's telling you something. However, if you feel sick when you don't drink, you really need to talk to your physician. Call us up at UC Health or go somewhere else where they can help you with that, because we have medical ways of helping people detoxify from alcohol if they need that.
That's an important distinction, right? Versus just, oh, I feel better, I feel more fresh, I slept better, versus, oh my gosh, I felt sick after I stopped.
Absolutely.
All right, something to pay attention to. Thank you for walking us through that. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to